And for our deep dive in the arena this week, we're taking a look at a new Pine Tree poll numbers from the University of New Hampshire Survey Center. This latest survey of 1,162 Maine residents was completed online between February 12th and 16th. The margin of sampling error for the survey is plus or minus 2.9%. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive into the big top lines, beginning with the race for the U.S. Senate. There's no surprise in the Republican primary, of course, with Senator Susan Collins crushing her two extremely unknown declared opponents by 67 to 6%. Perhaps the only interesting thing here is that about a quarter of Republicans say they're undecided at this point, and 14% have an unfavorable view of Senator Collins. Phil, any concern for Senator Collins that almost 30% of Republicans are not saying that they support her, or is that just business as usual?
I think it's more business as usual, Pat. The people in this polling may be more conservative than Senator Collins, and therefore are expressing their frustration in that regard. But get her through the primary and compare her to either Mills or Plattner, that 30% is clearly going to move to Senator Collins versus over to the other two candidates.
Ethan, any reason for Senator Collins to be concerned by those numbers?
I don't think too much. I mean, look, you don't ever want to, when you're an incumbent in the Republican Party, you don't ever want to have that level of party not being willing to check your name. But it's pretty standard for people to say, hey, you know, I want to wait to see what other options might be out there. I think Phil's right. They're going to come back home when push comes to shove. We'll talk about what those numbers look like a little later around how she compares to Mills and Plattner. But overall, she's in about as solid a position as you would expect.
So let's dive into the Democratic primary, where we definitely have some surprising numbers. In this one, where our sitting governor, Janet Mills, and populist newcomer Graham Plattner are challenging one another to take on Senator Collins, and Plattner holding a very big lead, 64 to 26%. He leads among almost all demographics, including age, region, gender, and education. In fact, out of about 25 different voter characteristics, Janet Mills leads in just two, voters over 64 and those in northern Maine. Now, we should mention that a couple of other recent polls have shown this race much tighter, and the Mills campaign has vociferously attacked the methodology, including what they see as an undersampling of elderly voters and an oversampling of young voters who identify as socialists. Ethan, are you hanging on to your prediction that Janet Mills is going to win this primary as one of those avowed socialists, if not as young as the rest of them?
Did I make that prediction? That couldn't have been me.
We could check the tape.
Prediction. Yes, we can. Look, you know, I mean, Janet Mills has got some work to do. This is, while there are other polls that show that this race is tighter, there are also other polls that show that this race is a blowout by Graham Plattner. And I think it's just showing that Janet Mills has not really done enough to connect with Maine people, connect with Maine Democrats around trying to deal with affordability in the state, around making sure, you know, that we close the income gap and protect renters, build affordable housing, provide the health care that people need. She's been really out of touch here, and she either at this point honestly needs to really shift gears or get out of the race, because she's going to get shellacked before this thing is done.
Phil, do you buy the numbers? Is it possible that 40% almost of Democrats don't want Janet Mills to get this nomination?
You know, that's a really, really key question, because as Ethan points out, there are other polls showing this race much tighter. So when we look back on this, one of these pollsters, or a few of them, are going to have been proven to be very, very way off base. Even with this disparity between the polls, to have one showing her 40 points down, it tells me there better be a grand strategy out of the Schumer U.S. Senate campaign committee to bolster Janet Mills' number, or as I predicted, I think Plattner is going to win this.
Now, the UNH Pine Tree poll also looked at the potential head-to-head matchups for November. They have Collins and Mills basically tied at 40%. However, it has Plattner up by 11 points over Collins, 49 to 38. Phil, do you trust those numbers this far out?
Well, these numbers perhaps a little bit more believable, or at least in keeping with what I sense. The further you are away from the general election, the more appealing a candidate's going to be with their rhetoric and their campaign energy and their boldness. as voters get ready to go to the polls on election day in November, they're going to want to ask themselves, does this person have the capacity and the capability to serve in this very important role in government? Do they have the knowledge on foreign policy, economics, health and human services, so on and so forth? And I think that's when people are going to calibrate who do they really want representing them for the next 6 years.
Ethan, Janet Mills has been desperately trying to tell people, no, electability is what matters, and I'm the only one that's electable in the fall. These numbers certainly don't back her up on that.
Yeah, they don't, and it's a losing argument on her part. As I said before, she really has to tap into what voters are looking for and how she's going to help them. You know, she has to run on her record of the past 7 years, which has not done enough to help people around affordability. But look, Graham Plattner is not going to beat Susan Collins. Nobody is going to beat Susan Collins by 11 points. This is going to be, if Democrats do win the race, they're going to win it by 2 or 3. So I don't put a lot of stock in any numbers this far out showing somebody with a big lead. The one thing I would say is that if you look back at polls in 2020 this far out, Susan Collins was a little bit higher. She was polling around 42, 43%. And in this, she's around, 38 to 40. So could that 2 to 3 point swing matter in the fall? It absolutely could. So Collins has to pay attention to some of that for sure.
Now let's take a look at the race for governor, beginning with the Democratic side, where we also have a relative newcomer to electoral politics in the lead against some establishment politicians and some well-known names. The former head of Maine's Center for Disease Control, Dr. Nirav Shah, is leading this five-way race with 25% of the vote, with Secretary of State Shenna Bellows at second at 19%, and former Senate President Troy Jackson in third with 16%. Perhaps most surprising, the two candidates with the deepest pedigree in Maine political names, Hannah Pingree and Angus King III, are pulling up the rear with 10% and 5% respectively. 23% are still undecided. So, Ethan, let's start with you this time. Why do you think Nirav Shah is leading the pack at this point, and what do you make of the order of the rest of these candidates?
You know, it's interesting that he is leading the race. I mean, clearly he's got some name ID because he was on TV every day during COVID. I don't think people necessarily associate that with a good time, even though he did a good job with it. But I think this is still just too early. I don't know if this Democratic primary is going to get bloody, if Democrats are really going to go after each other. We usually don't in the state of Maine, but I suspect that this number will shift. Shenna Bellows' number has been pretty consistent in most polls, that she's been right around this. She's been in about second place. That bodes pretty well for her. I think she's in a pretty good position. And Troy looks a little better than he did in some other ones. But boy, for Hannah and Angus King III, they're both got to be looking at these numbers saying to themselves, we've got to change the game. I have no idea why they would be this low.
Phil, as a Republican, what do you take away when you look at those numbers?
Yeah, I look at the Democrat field from the Republican side of the political spectrum, and I would have expected Hannah Pingree and Angus III to poll much higher than they are. They're both names that are well known. They both have a track record, Angus in the private sector and Hannah in the government sector, of pointing to accomplishments that have produced results. Nirav Shah, who I have come to get to know through the media, seems to be very articulate, very thoughtful, but I haven't seen the energy out of his campaign from volunteers, fundraising, et cetera. But obviously, if this poll is correct, he's got a network that is actually pretty effective.
Now, on the Republican side, the UNH poll tells us the leader is even more clear, with Bobby Charles, a former Assistant U.S. Secretary of State, holding a 16-point lead over his closest rival, former Maine Senate Minority Leader Garrett Mason, with Charles at 28% and Mason at 12%. The rest of the field all in the single digits, with David Jones, Ben Midgley, and Jonathan Bush at 7%, 6%, and 5% respectively. Notably, of course, almost a third of the GOP electorate is undecided. So, Phil, what do you make of all of this? Is Bobby Charles the real deal, going to hold on to this, or are undecided voters going to look at the whole field and maybe make other choices? Well,
I think you just pointed out the key part, and that is the leader of this poll is the undecideds. Where do they go from here? Bobby Charles, I think, has done a very effective job in being in the right places at the right time. He's very articulate. He's doing social media. He gets on every radio program that he can. He's not afraid to do a man in the street type social media broadcast that's a little edgy or controversial. So I'm not surprised that he is in this poll at the top. Garrett Mason benefited from an outside contribution, I'm told, of about $400,000 that has penetrated the airwaves. So his name recognition doesn't surprise me. The key, I think, is going to be what is the David Jones, Midgeleys, and Jonathan Bushes, who are what I would consider political outsiders, what are they going to do with their resources and their networks to get attention over the next 60 days?
Ethan, what's your take on the Republican horse race?
You know, I think there's going to be some people who get out of the race. That's my suspicion in the next month or so, as they start to realize this is a bigger uphill battle than they realized. Maybe somebody like David Jones or maybe Midgley, although he's got a lot of resources. You know, as I step back, though, the thing that's very interesting, just looking in all of these races, Janet Mills, Hannah Pingree, Angus King III, Jonathan Bush, all these established names in Maine politics, all way behind. It is clear that wherever you're looking, people are looking for something new, something newer. So that's kind of a pretty clear trend. That's not normal for Maine politics. We don't necessarily reject people simply because they've been in the game for a while. But on these polls, it certainly looks like if you are the old guard, people have no interest in voting for you.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is a very different year than we've seen before. The UNH Pine Tree poll also took a look at some of the issues that are most important to Maine voters. At the top, not surprisingly, is the cost of living, and that includes a number of subcategories: healthcare, housing, taxes, and so on. A whopping 58% see these issues as the most important. On the flip side, just 3% see immigration as the most important problem in Maine, with fewer than a third of Mainers saying immigration is a problem in their community, and 60 to 70% approximately saying ICE should be strongly reformed. And 49% of Mainers believe ICE should be abolished entirely, with 46% opposing that idea. So, Ethan, what do you make of these numbers?
Yeah, you know, this is buyer beware of this immigration policy that Donald Trump has put forward. I think that, you know, politicians, even Susan Collins was seeing that the level of pressure in the state of Maine to push back on this was strong when she started making statements that ICE needed to leave Maine. Will she now back it up in terms of not funding DHS, taking that money out the way Democrats are demanding around the closure? That's really the question. But Mainers are clear. What Donald Trump is doing is not what they signed up for. He said he was going to do one thing, and what he has done has been draconian, it's been cruel, it's been destroying families. Mainers don't like that, and they're speaking up.
Well, one of the things that's clear is Senator Collins is making a big push to get DHS funded, and as chair of appropriations, she's going to play a big role in that. Yeah. But what do you take away from what you see here? Yeah,
well, I think the funding is essential because it includes the Secret Service, the Coast Guard, TSA. It's more than just the immigration issue. And I think if these statistics are accurate, our legislative branch of government, the House or the Senate, ought to be introducing language that changes our immigration laws so that if this is really the mood of the country, then the people who have crossed over our border, legally or not, have some assurance that they are going to be able to stay. Otherwise, blaming the Trump administration for one side of it, saying these ICE tactics are too aggressive, I think people would agree with that. But on the other side, saying he has a responsibility to uphold the law, and he's doing that as well.
But again, the magic word in this campaign is affordability, right, Ethan? I mean, this is what people say they want. Are these politicians addressing that?
No, they aren't addressing it, and that's the whole point. And, you know, Donald Trump, you know, it's not the issue around whether or not people should be in the country. Look, I support the Dreamers Act. I don't remember if Phil supported that when it was trying to come forward, and that would be great. Give people a path to citizenship. I think a lot of American people do support that. But the big issue in this poll is the tactics. What people don't like that ICE is doing, which ICE has never done in the past, which is taking people out of their homes without warrants and going with masks and not identifying themselves. These kind of aggressive tactics, that's nothing that's in the law that says they have to do that. And that's where Susan Collins is going to have to stand up and say, yeah, I want to fund Secret Service. Yeah, we got to fund the Coast Guard. Let's get this money out. Let's put some restrictions on ICE. And then maybe we can get those other pieces funded.
Well, one final piece of data from the UNH survey, 13% of respondents in Maine feel that leftist politicians are the biggest problem in Maine. Only 2% consider right-wing politicians the same. Phil, it sounds like you're not trying hard enough.
Well, it sounds like I'm perhaps come across as the more reasonable, thoughtful statesman, diplomatic, and Ethan comes across as, well, a socialist.
The firebrand.
Come across as who I am, but let's be very clear. You know, when you look at the crosstab there, it's the hardcore right-wing Republicans who are saying it's the leftists. So, you know, us progressive Democrats, we're okay.
In the Arena returns with the lightning round after this break.